soaked. Oh, I love that sound. It just puts a smile on my face. Is it too much to get in a boot for a video? I want to do it. Fairly confident that we could get 3 of us in here. And I'll just get soaked on your behalf. Hello guys, and welcome back to a brand new Lucy on Cars. Today I've been given an opportunity to drive an Audi on this channel for the very first time, and right behind me here is the Audi S5 Quattro. It's a 4.2 litre V8. It is so exciting to drive. I have had the best morning driving this around in the rain. It's actually raining right now, so we're getting a bit soggy on this video. But hopefully you're indoors, hopefully you're nice and cozy and you can enjoy this video today, and I'll just get soaked on your behalf. Now, the reason I am driving this car today is because it's actually being raffled, and you guys know that I recently raffled my beloved Range Rover. Exciting things coming very, very soon on the Range Rover topic, stay tuned. But this car is also up with cash raffle for 99p. You can win this car for 99p, so I'm going to leave a link below if you want to check that out. Grab yourself some tickets. The person that won the Range Rover is enjoying it right now and has been in touch, and she is greatly missed, but I'm slightly less attached to this car because it's not mine, and they have actually sponsored the video today, so that's why I'm doing a little review on it. I told Cash Raffle that I'd need about a day to film this video, but I am going to have to give him a call. I think I'm going to need a couple of weeks. A good couple of weeks to fully get to know this car. But no, in all seriousness, the raffle is actually over quite soon, so if you are interested, feel free to check that out. But anyway, so onto this car. It's a beast. It's an absolute beast. There is so much I want to tell you about. I now want one of these for myself. I'm really quite excited by the idea of an Audi S5. This was the first S5 that they made. This is a 2008 model, and the mileage, I actually have no idea what the mileage is. Let's find that out together quick. Oh, it's not I'm putting my foot on the brake because I'm so used to a automatic. 101,000 miles. So it's a 15-year-old car, and I'm quite blown away by how cool this car is for being 15 years old. I think there's a sweet spot when it comes to cars that this is sort of ticking all those boxes for me. Similar with the Range Rover, actually. I think cars before this, I mean, there's some epic cars. I'm being very generic here, obviously, but a pattern I've noticed is the cars before this sort of age, very cool, bit more sort of rugged, a bit more maybe agricultural if you're thinking 4x4s, a little bit more raw. But then after this, they've become rather, I feel like cars are becoming less about driving these days and more about what they can do other than drive. Whether they can drive themselves or they can, I don't know, make you a cup of coffee in the back, whatever's coming next. But this is a sweet spot where cars are still about driving, but they're advanced enough to have a few bells and whistles that you want, a few luxuries. But to be honest with you, the best thing about this car for me is this. That's right. We haven't seen one of these in a while. This is a manual gearbox, guys. And when I worked at BMW, I remember it becoming a thing where they said they're going to stop making manuals, and oh, the next 5 Series launch, they're only doing automatics. And I was like, what? Only automatics? That's not driving. That's not proper driving. Manual gear changes are just what driving's all about. I mean, like good steering, yeah, like there's other things, braking, accelerating, but I feel like the most exciting thing when you're driving a car that you love is changing the gears, really getting to play around with the lower gears and the higher rev range, and also the torque when you're in the higher gears, because this car's got a lot of torque as well. The brake horsepower is, I think, 350 or 351, and it's a 0 to 60 time of 5.1 seconds. Super fast, but not unusable. And I just can't believe that this has got a 4.2 litre engine in it. The red line's at 7,000 RPM, so you can really, really accelerate hard and stay in the lower gears for a little bit longer, which is always fun. But yeah, that's what today's video is, a little review on this car, and maybe to show you if you're looking to get one for yourself, whether it's this one or not. I think they're a really special car. I have to say, this is one of the most usable V8s, if not the most usable, that I've ever driven. I am able to use its full power, well maybe not its full power, keeping within the speed limits, but I really feel like I'm getting a lot out of this car. It's just like absolutely tipping it down, but who cares? We're in a Quattro, so it doesn't matter. Oh, it's actually really raining. I said this in the Lotus recently, how it feels like you can really use the full 1.6 litre, but I'm now saying it in a 4.2 litre V8 engine, and honestly, it's a complete pleasure to drive. Some cars you get into with big engines, and I don't know if it's just me, but I sometimes feel a tiny bit intimidated, and I think I need to really concentrate to be able to handle this car properly and feel good behind the wheel. With this, I'm not saying I'm going to drive it with my eyes closed, don't worry, I'm not condoning that. However, if I had to drive it with my eyes closed, I think I could give it a pretty good go. It feels like someone's taken the everyday family car and given it a big kick up the bottom This is a family channel, guys. Injected it with this crazy amount of power, and it's just a pleasure because you know how to drive this car. It's easy. It's an easy car to drive, but it's just so much fun as well. It's so much fun. And it's noisy. I love a noisy car. Not enough cars these days are noisy. You just don't get noise with cars these days. I mean, I'm saying that I love that sound. It just puts a smile on my face. I'm saying that from the perspective of a hybrid owner. Yes, I'll give you that. But honestly, it's just the best, one of the best sounds in the world. I don't know what beats it. So it is a bit of a damp day today. There's a lot of water on the roads. You can probably hear now how wet it is. I'll put my window up so it's probably a bit nicer to listen to. If this was a rear-wheel drive car, which you often get with V8s, then you might think, oh, I need to be a bit more mindful on the roads today. But with this, I'm just thrashing it around the corners like it's nothing. It's just sticking to the road like cement. I mean, I'm sure if I really went for it, we might be able to get the backhand out a bit, but this is not my car, so I don't think I can quite justify that today. But let's give it a little blip here. It's just so much power, and also it's got torque. So when we're up in the higher gears, I mean, I was just driving in fifth on that faster road back then. If I put my foot down and just tap the accelerator, it's got so much torque that it just still throws the car forwards. Something else I'm quite enjoying is the gear changes. It's a very short movement. If you just show down here quick, George, it's a very short, quick thing. It's not having to be thrown too far as you change gears, and that makes it feel a bit sportier and a bit more, I don't know, a bit more like you're in control of the car. It's quite small in here. The way you sit, everything's kind of angled towards you, so you feel a lot. I was just checking the height. It says 2 meters. I'm not in the Range Rover anymore. I'll be absolutely fine. It just feels very closed in and quite cozy, and like everything is for the driver in this car. It feels like you're in a kind of control, like a cockpit, and you've got these sort of curved out edges, and everything's facing you, and everything's right here, and you've got the short gear changes, and you've got great visibility. It feels like a car that was supposed to be driven by someone who enjoys driving a car, not just to get from A to B. So fun to drive. Smile on my face the whole time. Very sad to be giving this back later. But yeah, let's get onto the looks a little bit. Let's have a little walk around of the car, see what she looks like, because I think it's a very stunning car, and I really don't believe it looks 15 years old. I think there's something with Audis where, I mean, the newer ones maybe not, the last sort of couple of years, but for maybe a whole decade, I feel like you couldn't guess the year of an Audi because they all had that kind of similar look. So when they first came out, they looked very new, but then they started to look older a little bit later on because they just didn't really change that much. But I think this is just an authentic classic Audi look. I really think this is like the sweet spot Audi where they still look quite sporty and aggressive, but they don't stand out too much. Sometimes you don't want a car that's just like, look at me. This is like a subtle, I've got a really cool car. Not everyone knows that I've got a really cool car, but I think it's a very cool car. It's one of them. It's an if you know, you know kind of situation. So this is in a beautiful dark blue colour. I mean, I'd love to show you the colour in its full potential, but it's a very grim day down in Worthing today, so you can't really see it, but a nice subtle dark blue colour. The grille I love. We've got, oh, it's so warm. I'm actually quite cold, so I might just warm my hands off over the open fire. The grille is very aggressive looking. I like the angle. It kind of comes down diagonally. The edges are slightly curved, so it makes it look a tiny bit less aggressive. That's just what I mean. It's like a sweet spot. It's an approachable car, but you're also a bit intimidated by it. The S5 badge is cool as well in red. And really, if we're comparing this to, say, I don't know, BMW M4 or something, it's a lot more subtle. So being down here, the curve of the bonnet is very smooth, but then obviously in the M4 you've got sort of a big bulge in the middle, which signifies it is an M car. This is much more subtle, and it's a car you probably wouldn't expect to have a 4.2 V8 engine underneath the bonnet. Let's show you the bonnet. Let's have a look under the bonnet. Have you got the keys, George? I don't think we can have all this engine chat without actually looking at the engine. Wow, very clean. 15 years old, very clean, very warm. So obviously a very beautiful looking engine. As far as engines go, we've got the 4 cylinders either side, and I actually love here that, I mean, I don't know the exact technicalities of an Audi engine. I know a bit more about the BMW ones, but I love how they've kind of, it's almost like a plait going up with the pipes just here all the way up to the V8 badge at the top. So very good looking engine. And you may be wondering where the turbo is, because there isn't one. There's no turbo. This is a naturally aspirated engine, which I love. It makes the power much more linear. There's no surprises. There's no sort of sudden kick in of turbo. It's very much what you see is what you get, and I think that's what this car's all about. Now I do also feel like this car is slightly gentlemanly. There's a few things that make me think that. We've got some chrome exhaust at the bottom here. It's a quad exhaust. I think that definitely makes it stand out as having a nice big engine underneath the bonnet. But if you guys stay right here, I'm gonna hop in and start the engine and you can give these a listen, because the sound on this car, like I said, is just beautiful. There's also some nice chrome detailing around the windows, but also the lovely tan interior, as you've seen. I think tan interiors get some bad rep. I'm personally quite a big fan. I think I've had so many black interiors. It's a nice welcome change having the lighter interior. This is I'm wearing, this would say is very much, it's nearly white, so it's quite dark for a light interior, but it's not got the kind of orangey look. It's very much a kind of off-white cream kind of colour, and I absolutely love this detailing of the S5 sort of embossed into the leather. Very comfy leather seats, they're kind of bucket seats, very sporty, keeps you in position when you're driving this car how you should be driving this car, but also I like that the roof lining and down the A and B and C pillars are all black. So it gives you that kind of cozy, closed-in, sporty feel, but you've got the light interior to brighten it up a little bit inside. Beautiful steering wheel. I really like the steering wheel. It's quite thin in a good way. It's got a good grip on it. Nice detailed stitching around the leather. Another S5 badge just here, and it's not too complicated. It's a very simple steering wheel. It's not like some steering wheels these days where there's about 85 buttons on it. The horn is the horn. It's not, again, like a little pressy button. It's very much how a steering wheel should look, and there's not an awful lot going on inside, to be honest with you. It's fairly simple. It's a start-stop engine, a push start, and often 15 years ago I think that would be quite a new thing, not putting the key in and turning it. And then we've got our radio. I think there's some sort of infotainment system. I'm not entirely sure what exactly, but it is fairly basic because it's 15 years old. But I really I don't care about that kind of stuff in a car like this. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, my navigation's not working, because I'll just get my phone out and pop it up instead, because that's what you do these days. You've got a nice sunroof. It's a very big sunroof actually, and in terms of spacing in the back, if I hop in the back quickly, I'll show you what we're working with. So in terms of height, I am 5 foot and 8.5 inches, if anyone was wondering. Now you know. Right. Electric seats as well, which is nice. Our brand new BMW doesn't have electric seats, which is an absolute shocker. It's something you have to add onto the spec, which we didn't, and it feels kind of odd using manual seats in a brand new car. But anyway, this has got electric seats, so if you maybe if you stand here, you'll get the best. I don't know, I want to be able to show you how easy it is to get in and out. So if we put this back and then move it back to where I was sitting as the driver, it's okay. It's not too bad. It's not the most spacious back seat I've ever sat in, but it's not too bad. And something I do like is you're quite upright. You've got quite a lot of space around you. There's little nets in the back of the seats. Having the sunroof is quite a nice bit of extra light in the back. And the seats are pretty comfy. We've got an armrest. Ugh. The all-important cup holders. Oh, that's a good one. Doesn't matter how big your bottle is, it's gonna fit in here. Just in a £1 coin down here. There you go. I'm going to leave this in the car, so if you win this car in the raffle, this is the same £1 coin. Not only do you win an Audi, but you also win £1 on top for your first bit of fuel. I'm actually going to hide this, and then hopefully they don't realise it's in there when they clean it before sending it off. And then, okay, if you win this car, send me a message on Instagram and show me the £1 coin. We actually had this car cleaned today, believe it or not, for the video, but it has rained and it's looking a bit grubby again. But the wheels are 20-inch alloy wheels. They're actually a really beautiful shape. I like these. There's quite a lot of spokes, quite a lot going on, but they're not so busy that, I mean, some wheels I think are a bit too chaotic, but these are quite simple and I do like that. Black brake calipers with a little Audi logo there. Very low profile tyres, but yeah, good looking wheels. Let's show you the boot without falling into this puddle to my right. Lovely, lovely day, lovely weather. Ooh. Massive boot. I'm tempted to get in it to show you. Is that a bit much? Shall I get in it? Is it too much to get in a boot for a video? I want to do it. Oh, there's a man walking past walking his dog. Okay, are we ready? This looks so bad. I'm in. My knees even come up. There's there could be. Hang on, let me move even further back. 3 of us could fit in here.
I'm fairly confident that we could get 3 of us in here. 3 of me anyway. I don't think you'd be 3 of you, George, but honestly, if you haven't subscribed yet and you've just watched me do that, think about it, because come on, just got in a boot to show you how big the boot is. Not only if you win this car do you win a £1 coin, but open the boot, I might still be in there. And also, a very rare sight to see these days, we've got a spare wheel in the back, so I feel like everyone's run flats these days, so it's quite nice to see a real life tyre in the boot. So obviously it wouldn't be a fair review without giving my negatives on this car, and the main one that's really standing out to me right now is pretty big, to be honest. It's to do with the fans. So when I first got in this car, the fans were on full speed and I was sort of fumbling around trying to figure out how to turn it off. And in order to do that, you have to turn this one on here, use the temperature dial to change the fan speed, then turn it off again to get the temperature back on. So, I mean, it's a very small thing, but you don't get your own control for a fan. You have to turn the temperature control off to control the fan. So it is a very minor thing, but it's just one of those silly little things that you think you just want one more little button on there. I just think this is an awful lot of car you're getting for under 10 grand. And that's, again, I was saying earlier about the sweet spot of cars. I think so many fall into this sort of sub 10k category where you're getting a car that used to be worth a lot more money brand new, but it's still the same car. So it is a bit of a steal if you ask me. But anyway, I think that's going to end off this review today, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. For me, very, very fun car. It's now in my head as a possible car in the future because it's so drivable, and I just can't believe it's a 4.2 litre engine in a car that looks like this. That's the most mind-blowing thing to me. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't forget you can win this car for 99p in the link down below with cashraffle.com, and good luck. If you're looking to get one of these for yourself, then let me know in the comments how you get on, and if you do purchase one, maybe off the back of this video, or if you've got one on your radar, is it similar to this? What's the spec like? Let's have a little chat in the comments down below, because I do read every single comment on this channel and reply to as many as I can. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon in the next Lucy on Cars. Goodbye.